can't control what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. So while you put Donald Trump on the stand and his attorney, yes, will start asking him the questions, direct examination, and you will hope that it's controlled and he'll answer the question. But then the defense attorney has to sit down, and it's up to the prosecutor now to cross-examine him. And his defense attorney can't come and save him and be like, stop.
Now, the judge at the New York court where Donald Trump is on trial has warned he won't put up with any intimidation of jurors in his courtroom. He's accused the former president of making comments during the questioning of one juror. Trump's been charged with 34 counts of fraud related to hush money that was paid to the porn star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. It's the first time a former or current president has faced a criminal trial. Well, I've been speaking to Bernarda Villalona, a criminal defense attorney and legal analyst who's been following the trial from New York.
We're still in the stage of selecting the jury. And just to be clear, when it comes to jury selection, the jury selection stage is the most important stage of any criminal trial. And the reason I say that is because, remember, it's a jury that's going to ultimately reach a decision as to whether Donald Trump is guilty or not guilty. And those jurors that are selected are the ones that are going to make that decision. So technically, trials can be lost and won in jury selection. But where we are as of the close of business today, 7 jurors have been selected. So left to select are still to complete the 12. So 5 more plus the alternates they are seeking just in case something happens to one of the jurors that are seated in the part of the 12.
Now, there was a remarkable scene in court yesterday where Donald Trump was accused by the judge of intimidating a candidate for the jury. Just tell us about this.
Yes, yes. So it seems that Donald Trump was making faces and smirking during the questioning of a potential juror when the juror was asked about social media posts or being on social media, something about Facebook. And Donald Trump, I heard that it was visible, the facial expressions that he was making, and also that he was smirking a bit. And Judge Merchan definitely at that moment, once the juror was excused, I believe, had warned Donald Trump that he cannot intimidate any of these jurors.
Am I right in saying there was also a moment where the judge required some of the jury candidates' previous comments on social media about Trump to be read out? And the reason a lot of people have picked up on that is because it might have been one of the first times that Donald Trump has heard such direct criticism of him or such direct comments about him.
So you have to think Donald Trump is forced to be in that courtroom. It's not like he can get up and leave. So you have people that are being questioned about their views about Donald Trump to determine whether they can be a fair and impartial juror. And some of these views are not positive. A lot of these views are negative. So these comments are being read in court. And just to be clear, what's happening is that during this jury selection, it seems that Donald Trump has a jury consultant or people that are assisting his attorneys. And what they're doing as each juror is being questioned, they're searching that potential juror on social media to see if they have any public open social media accounts and what they have commented in doing these days and in the past to determine whether they may have certain views about Donald Trump or this case.
And just to give you a flavour of some of them, according to the Times, one of them was "Get him out and lock him up." Another had posted a satirical headline declaring Republicans projected to pick up 70 seats in prison. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Talk us through the timeline from here, Bernarda. Once the jury is selected, how will things proceed?
So once a jury is selected, and I believe that we should have a jury by Friday. If not, I think the latest on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Now, when they call the witness, the prosecution will ask the questions. After the prosecution asks questions, the defense attorneys will have an opportunity to cross-examine those witnesses. And then ultimately, the judge will ask Donald Trump's attorney whether they will be presenting any evidence at this trial. Now, here in the United States, defendants do not have to present evidence. They do not have to present witnesses, and the defendant does not have to testify in a criminal trial. But ultimately, it's their decision.
I'm taking we've had no indication so far as to whether Donald Trump will take the witness stand himself.
No, not at all. No indication at all. And by law, they don't have to notify the court at this point whether he wants to testify. They can wait to the very last minute, right before he makes that decision to get on the stand and testify. But if it's my bet, if I were his attorney, I would not put Donald Trump on the stand. Absolutely not.
Why is that? Because he'd be a bad witness? Is he just not the kind of temperamental character that would make a good witness?
It's that combination of both. Is that his temperament, you won't be able to control what he says. He doesn't make a good witness. He's made so many statements that he can be confronted with. He's also made so many public announcements and posts and just in general, the things that he has said in the public can come out and he can be cross-examined on that on the stand. And also, you can't control what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. So while you put Donald Trump on the stand and his attorney, yes, will start asking him the questions, direct examination, and you will hope that it's controlled and he'll answer the question. But then the defense attorney has to sit down and it's up to the prosecutor now to cross-examine him. And his defense attorney can't come and save him and be like, stop, let's stop this proceeding. Let me talk to my client. Doesn't work like that. So you can't control a man like Donald Trump. And when you're dealing with a jury trial where we have jurors that are making the decision about your guilt, you don't want to put a wild card like that on the stand.
And just finally, Bernarda, you've obviously been covering this case for the last few days. Give us a sense of how much of a media circus it has
Oh my
been. It
God.
must have been remarkable.
Yes, yes. I was in front of the courthouse yesterday from 9 a.m., 9:10 a.m. until about 5-ish. It was complete, ma'am. It's taking up blocks of New York City full of media lined up. And then you do also have protesters for and against Donald Trump that are also there. In fact, you have trucks that are driving past the block with music talking about Donald Trump. You have people with flags, you have people with signs, you have people with horns, with bells. I mean, you name it and you see it. You have people in costumes as well.
What,
So
what, what costumes are they wearing?
yes, I have seen costumes. I mean, I've seen costumes of people in Jesus costumes. I've seen people in clown costumes. I mean, I've seen it all, but I have to say, I was present doing his arraignment, and it was much crazier when he was arraigned a year ago and when he got indicted a year ago than it is now. And I don't know if it's because people are just like tired of Donald Trump, like this is the normal for Donald Trump, or is it that he's lost some of his fan base and he's not getting the support that he had last year?
She's great. Bernarda Villalona, criminal defence attorney and legal analyst.